First problem here. William, what would you do first? It says solve and graph. This doesn't have two variables, so it's not a linear equation or inequality. We're just trying to solve for the variables. Okay, what would you do first here? I would too. 4 times r is 4r. 4 times minus a half is minus 2. Minus 3 is less than or equal to. 5 times r is 5r. 5 times minus 1 is minus 5 plus 4. Carlos, what would you do from here?
I would put all the common.
What do you want me to put together first?
-2 and -3.
And that gives me 4r minus 5. And then what?
-5 and 4.
-5 and 4. And I get 5r minus 1. Cameron, what would you want me to do next?
You probably need to get all the r's on the inside.
I would. What would you like to do?
So I subtract 4r.
Cameron says subtract 4r, and I like it because it's going to keep the r positive. Okay? So that's going to leave us with -5 is less than or equal to r minus 1. Late? Add 1 to both sides. And now I'm going to get -4 is less than or equal to r, or r is greater than or equal to -4, if you like having the variable on the other side. Right? I just flipped everything. Yeah, Alex? Okay. So Alex, help me graph this. What's the critical number, Alex?
Well, -4.
Good. So -4 here, put a circle around it. Alex, should I color it in?
Yes, you should.
Because it says it can be equal to it. And should I shade to the right of -4 or to the left of -4?
To the right of -4 because it's greater than or equal.
That's where the bigger numbers are. Beautiful. Perfect. Steele, are you happy? Steele says he's happy, I'm happy. Any questions about that one? Good. Steele, since you're happy, help me on this one. Okay? Now, let me read through it. It says the sum of 2 consecutive integers is less than 55. Find the pair of integers with the greatest sum. Okay, the sum of 2 consecutive integers. How can I represent that? X plus x plus 1. This is the first integer. This is the next consecutive one, right? Okay, I like it. Oh. Now what would you like me to do? Less than? 55. Can it equal 55, Steele? No, it can't. Perfect, Steele. Thank you. Okay, what would you do? Okay.
So 2x.
X and x, so that'll make it 2x plus 1 is less than 55.
Yeah.
Nice. Andrew?
Then I would add 1.
You want to add 1?
Or subtract.
You mean subtract 1?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that's 54.
This is 54 on the right.
Yes. And it's less than 2x is less than 54.
2x is less than 54. Okay. Duncan?
We don't have to graph it.
We don't have to graph it. No, we don't.
Alright, so now I divide by 2.
Divide by 2. Now, Duncan, do I need to flip the inequality because I am dividing both sides by a number here?
What's the inequality?
Do I need to change the inequality sign?
No.
Why not? Because I'm dividing on both sides.
You're not dividing by negative.
But I'm not dividing by a negative. Okay? Now, let's go back to what the problem said. The problem said the sum of 2 consecutive integers is less than 55. Find the pair of integers with the greatest sum. Okay? Well, I know that the smallest, because the smallest is x, Steele said. The next one is x plus 1. I know the smallest one has to be less than 27. So what can the smallest one be, Drew?
The smallest one could be, wait, x is less than 27, so the smallest one.
Okay, I've got 2 consecutive integers, one right after the other. Okay? X stands for the first one. X plus 1 stands for the next one. Okay? When I add them together, they cannot equal 55. They have to be less than 55. They said, what's the greatest pair of numbers that satisfy that before going over 55? Okay? Well, we know that x, the smallest of the two, has to be less than 27. So what would we want it to be? 26. Okay? And then the next number we'd want, obviously, is 27. If I add them together, I get 53. Is that less than 55?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What if I had picked 27?
You can't do that because it's not less than 27.
It's not less than 27 for that matter, right? And if I add them together, I get 55, and that's not less than 55. It has to be less than. Can't be equal to it. Okay? So those are the pair, that's the pair of numbers. Okay? Everybody all right with that? Chambliss, you good? Well, Chambliss, since you're good with that one, I want you to help me with this one. Remember.
I see what you're doing, Mr. Marcos.
Now remember, this says solve and graph. All I have to do is I have to isolate the absolute value. So what should I do first?
Okay, well, go ahead and divide by 2.
Okay, I'm going to divide this entire side by 2 and this entire side by 2. These cancel, and I'm left with 3 times the absolute value of A minus 1 is less than or equal to 5. Now let me stop there for just a second, Chambliss. That's perfectly fine. Would it have been okay if I had distributed? Yeah, I would have gotten 6 times the absolute value of A minus 2, right? That's okay. I don't distribute inside that absolute value. It's just 2 times that, which would have made it 6 of those. All right? But we didn't do that. Chambliss said, let's just divide everything by 2. Good. Alex, what do you want to do next?
We're going to want to add 1 to each side.
Beautiful. Add 1, add 1. So now, I've got 3 times the absolute value of A is less than or equal to 6.
Then you divide this up. and-
But you know what? I don't want you to do this. I actually want Lily to do this part. So Lily, what do you want me to do next?
Okay. So then you multiply 3 times the absolute value. Is that an A or not?
It is an A.
Alright. Okay. So then it would be 3A.
No, it would not.
3.
What is my goal?
Oh, you need to get A by itself, so you need to divide each side by
Exactly. I want to get the absolute value by itself. So I'm going to divide this side by 3, this side by 3. Do I need to, Duncan, do I need to flip the inequality?
No.
No, because I'm dividing by a positive. So the absolute value of A is less than or equal to 2. Okay? Now what do I do? Allie?
Split it up.
I'm ready to split it up because I've isolated it.
Right.
So it's A is,
less than or equal to 2.
uh-huh,
And then A is greater than or equal to 2.
not
Negative 2.
-2. Exactly. Okay? Now let's graph this and see what it looks like, Allie. What are the 2 critical numbers?
2 and negative 2.
All right? Which one goes here? Bless you.
Negative 2.
-2. 2 goes there. Put a circle around them. Alex, do I color in the circles or leave them empty?
We color them both
I color them both in
because
because they can be equal to those numbers. And it says A is less than 2 and A is greater than -2. Do I need to shade between them or
Yes,
going away from each
in
other?
between them.
Beautiful. Nice.
It's up to you.
Nice. Perfect. Listen, if I were going to write this inequality, what would it look like? Okay? Would I write it as 2 separate ones with an or between it? Or would I write it with the variable in the middle of the 2 numbers? Yeah, because the graphing's in the middle. It's a conjunction, right? So A is greater than or equal to -2, less than or equal to 2. Beautiful. You could have decided that by this sign. Because it's less than that, it's going to be shaded between. If it were greater than that, they'd shade away. All right?
Whenever there's an absolute value, you have to divide it.
You have to divide it into 2 parts because you have to say, what if this number is positive? What if that number in there was negative? Okay? Yes, sir.
Can you only decide it once you isolate it, or can you still decide by the...
No, you need to isolate it because you don't know this sign may flip if you divide by a negative or something. Okay? All right. Let's get one more in on this video, I think. Miles, hadn't heard from you.
Cool. Let's solve and graph this, Mr.
Let's do solve and graph this, Miles.
Okay, so it looks like from here, since we already have the absolute value of that,
Yeah.
we should, let's break it into 2 problems. right
Let's go ahead and break it into 2 because the absolute value, as ugly as it is isolated.
That's all right. Yeah,
Okay?
isolated.
So tell me what I write here on the left.
Let's put that all in parentheses, the 1 minus parentheses negative, or 3. Just write that. Yeah, 3 minus 2x.
Yeah, like this
in parentheses.
is
Yeah,
less than 18. All right.
And then on the other side, we're going to do negative all that. The opposite of all that.
I'm going to do 1 minus 3 minus 2x is greater than negative
Yeah,
18.
greater than negative 18.
Is that all right?
Just do it all. Yep. I like
Is
it.
it supposed to say 3x on the first one?
It's not supposed to say 3x on the first one, Cameron. So why does it? Yes, because I wrote it.
No, it's Gremlins, Mr. C. You didn't write that.
All right,
Gremlins
they snuck
did.
in behind me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good. So what do you want to do first?
Let's make the take the 1 minus.
Yeah.
And distribute the negative inside the parentheses.
All right, so you want to distribute the negative inside, so you're going to get 1 minus 3 plus 2x
Yeah.
is less than 18. Is that right?
Yeah.
What do I get over here?
Then we do 1 plus, or 1 minus 3x plus 2. 3 plus 2x.
All right.
The Gremlins got me too.
Is-
Are greater than negative 18.
All right. Now, Lake, where do I want to go from there?
You can combine 1 and
1 and negative 3, right? What's it give me?
3. Negative 2.
Plus 2x is less than 18. Over here, we get the same thing, don't we? Negative 2 plus 2x is greater than negative 18. All right. Go ahead and, Lake, take it another step.
Okay, add 2 to both sides.
Add 2 to both sides, okay. That's going to give me 2x is less than 20. Add 2 over here to both sides, and 2x is greater than negative 16. All right. Eva,
Yes.
what do I do?
You're gonna divide by 2 on this side?
Divide by 2, divide by 2, x is less than 10. Divide by 2, divide by 2, x is greater than negative 8. All right. Nice, Eva. Sarah,
Yeah.
I think we're ready to graph this. We got x by itself, right? What are the critical numbers?
-8 and 10.
Negative 8, 10. Let me put my circles around it. Am I coloring those in, Sarah? No? Now it says x is less than 10. Do I want to shade in the middle, or do I want to shade on the outside?
In the middle.
In the middle, because it's greater than negative 8 and less than positive 10. So what would this inequality look like when I write it?
It would be, I don't know.
Okay.
Are you supposed to do them all greater than or all less than?
No, it depends on where this shading is. Allie, do you know what I'm talking about here? What does this look like?
It's -8
Yeah.
is less than
Yep.
x,
Uh-huh.
which is less than 10.
Which is less than 10. Perfect. Since the shading was in the middle, I put the variable in the middle. If the shading's on the outside, I have to write 2 separate inequalities. Yeah? That make sense?
Yeah.
Good. All right. Done with that, and I'm done with this video.